In theory, the Rooney Rule was set to be the perfect solution to address the problem of few coaches of color in the NFL. In application, it hasn't worked out, but it's being amended on a regular basis now. We take a look at how the new changes to the Rooney Rule could help it become more impactful for future coaches in the NFL. Let's dive in. First up, what is the Rooney Rule? To understand the new changes, it's important to get a quick recap of what it meant when the Rooney Rule was brought into the NFL. It was adopted in 2003 as the NFL realized that the lack of diversity in coaching was alarming, and the policy required every team with a head coaching vacancy to interview at least one or more diverse candidates before making a new hire. This was seen as a big step in incorporating minorities and the diversity of the U.S. in their sporting culture. Over the years, some other minor tweaks have managed to make it more impactful, and while there are certain critiques on the rule, it has also definitely been a success too, to say the least. Some believe that the rule just hasn't done enough for the representation of minorities, and there needs to be a better way of implementation. That's why there have been quite a few amendments to the Rooney Rule. Let us explore some of them. Next, we have the changes to Rooney Rule. The first change came back in 2009, and the policy was amended to include general manager jobs and equivalent front office positions. This would require each team to interview a minimum of 2 external minority candidates. A decent decision, but again, only in theory. The next change was made only a few years ago in 2020, when team owners proposed rewarding teams that develop talents belonging to minorities, who would go on to become general managers or even head coaches anywhere in the league. Now, this was genuinely a true incentive for the NFL sides to bring in minority talent, and in practicality too, it seemed like a good move. After this change in 2021, the NFL approved some more changes requiring teams to interview at least 2 external minority candidates for the head coaching positions too. It also required them to interview at least 1 minority candidate for a coordinator job and 1 minority candidate and/or female candidate for senior-level positions in the management like club president and senior executives. The latest change came after the 2022 Spring League meeting, after which the NFL sides are obligated to conduct outside interviews with a minority and/or female candidate for any vacant QB coach positions too. This ruling is probably the most important of all, and we'll take a look at its significance in ensuring that there are all sorts of representation at the highest level as well. Now for the impact of the changes. This is considered to be a historic move in the world of the NFL. If we take a look at some statistics, we find out that in the current 2022 NFL season, there are only 4 QB coaches of color. That includes Charles London, Falcons; Ronald Curry, Saints; Brian Johnson, Eagles; and Pep Hamilton, Texans offensive coordinator. At the same time, even though the NFL 2021 season saw a record number of women holding assistant coaching roles, there are still none that hold coordinator spots or even a lead position coach role. These numbers are improvements for sure, but we're still a long way away from saying that it definitely works. That's why we feel that it made a lot of sense for the latest changes to come in, particularly when you realize out of the current 32 NFL head coaches, 16, yes that's right, 16, have served formerly as an NFL QB coach or OC. The finding is very simple here. Those roles serve as the perfect stepping stone for becoming a head coach, and that shows the importance of bringing diversity into those positions too. They are the direct pipeline to landing a head coaching gig in the NFL, and for good reasons. If you've done your hands dirty at that level, you're definitely good enough to assume the most important role in the NFL. Even if you take a look at the head coaching hires of 2022, 6 out of the 9 served as QB coaches and/or OCs, and out of them all, only McDaniel, Bowles, and Smith were diverse hires in the cycle. Up next, NFL's diversity problem is big. We're glad steps like the Rooney Rule are being taken finally, but it's about time we stopped pretending like there wasn't a diversity issue in the NFL. More than 70% of the NFL's players are black, and there are somehow only 6 coaches of color in the entire division. Make it make sense. On the other hand, there are also only 2 owners of color in the league and 0 black owners for some reason. So the league has to take responsibility and ensure they make the pathway a lot easier for people of all backgrounds to join the league and make it more diverse. In addition to this, there's no brighter spotlight in sports than the one that comes with the quarterback position. It also has a huge impact on the way QB coaches are seen, and that can be a huge help in solving the current problem. Look at how Joe Brady's star rose after he helped Joe Burrow in the most prolific college football season ever seen. While the NFL has taken some strides in recent years with its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, it's significant that they don't just do them for show rather than ensure that the numbers reflect the results. So far they haven't, and changes like the ones we've seen with the Rooney Rule could go a long way in making a difference. Let's round up the latest news from the NFL, starting with Walmart heir Rob Walton to purchase Denver Broncos for record price. This is probably the biggest news from the NFL in the last couple weeks. For Broncos fans, it might just be the biggest news in well over 3 decades, because their franchise is getting a new owner. That's right, the Broncos had the same owner since 1984, but it was confirmed on Tuesday night that they've entered a purchase and sale agreement with the Walton Penner family to acquire the team. The group is led by the heir of Walmart, Rob Walton, who will take over the ownership of the team along with his daughter Carrie Walton Penner and son-in-law Greg Penner. As per the NFL rules, the sale needs to be approved by their finance committee and league ownership before it becomes official. But these things are usually just a formality and won't be hurdles of any kind. As for what to expect from the new owners, the president and the CEO, Joe Ellis, seems confident that the team will be in good hands moving forward and that the fans should be excited. Plus, it's a record-breaking move because even back in early April, the price of the Broncos was being considered around $4 billion. However, Pat Bowlen agreed to the $4.65 billion sale after purchasing the team back in 1984 for only $78 million. Next, Derek Carr in support of Raiders signing Colin Kaepernick. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr has spoken in support of the franchise signing of Colin Kaepernick. While he did clarify that he doesn't want to speak for everyone because he doesn't want to offend anyone, he still believes that Kaepernick will work out pretty decently and he'll get along well with the guys. Kaepernick and Carr shared a season together in the Western Athletic Conference, all the way back in 2009, with Carr in Fresno State and Kaepernick with Nevada. It seems that they became good friends back then, and this could be the perfect time to rekindle the old friendship. The Raiders staff was also very impressed after watching Kaepernick's workout on the 25th of May, and while he hasn't played since the 2016 season, he seems to be in perfect shape. Many people have come out in support of Kaepernick and his peaceful protest, with Mark Davis in particular saying that he deserves every chance in the world to become a quarterback in the NFL. And finally, NFL's first official event in Africa. The NFL will be hosting its first official events in Africa, beginning on the 21st of June in Ghana. It will be a week full of activities called the NFL Africa The Touchdown, which will include a talent identification camp, a fan event, and a flag football clinic. This highlights the commitment of the NFL to develop more ways to serve its growing fan base all across the continent. It's a fantastic step, especially when you consider that currently in the NFL there are more than 100 players of African descent, and the league will highlight the contributions of those players to activate a future of the sport in the African countries. Some of the players taking part in the on-site include the likes of Uchenna Nwasu, Ogbonnia Okoronkwo, Jeremiah Owusu-Kalmoa, and Kwity Paye, among many more big names. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think the new changes to the Rooney Rule can have a genuine impact on future coaches? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.